Welcome to Real Talk English. You know that feeling you get super excited about a new project, a new workout plan, whatever it is, but a few weeks later, you just stop? Well, you are definitely not alone.
Most people don't have a motivation problem. Most people don't have a mindset problem. Most people don't have a time problem. They really have a consistency and follow through problem.
Today, we're diving into some amazing advice from the Mindset Mentor podcast that explains the real secret to finally being consistent.
It's frustrating to want to be somewhere, to want to be different, but feel like you're just self-sabotaging and spinning your wheels and keeping yourself in the exact same position.
Yeah, so many of us have been there, right? You start something with so much energy and then poof, it's gone. It's a really common struggle. But don't worry, we're about to explore exactly why this happens and get into a super simple but powerful plan to fix it for good.
Okay, so let's get right to the heart of it. A lot of people think their problem is a lack of motivation. But the speaker in this clip says, nope, that's not it. The real issue is a problem with consistency. And it all starts with a feeling that I bet is going to sound really familiar. He puts it this way. You start out strong, and then you just watch yourself ghost yourself on your goals a couple weeks later. I love that phrase. It's such a modern and honestly accurate way to describe it. But what does it actually mean to ghost yourself?
It's a really clever expression. You know how in dating, ghosting someone means you just disappear without a word? Well, here, you're doing that to your own plans. You just vanish. You stop showing up for yourself with no real explanation. And when you're in that cycle, it can feel awful. It's like you're actively working against your own success, what he calls self-sabotaging. And you feel like you're just spinning your wheels. Let's take a closer look at that second expression. So what does it mean to be spinning your wheels? Just picture a car that's stuck in the mud. The wheels are turning really fast, right? There's a ton of energy being used, but the car isn't actually going anywhere. That's the feeling. All this effort for zero progress. And the video says there are two big reasons why we do this. So why do we get stuck spinning our wheels? Well, the podcast points to two main culprits. First, our brains are basically addicted to novelty. We are just naturally drawn to new, shiny, exciting things, which makes doing the same thing over and over feel really hard. And second, we have a habit of using feelings as a compass, meaning we only work on our goals when we feel motivated. But as we all know, feelings come and go. They're not a very reliable guide. Okay, so if we can't rely on our feelings, what's the answer? The solution he offers is a beautifully simple rule, and it's actually recommended by psychologists for building real, lasting success. It's called the 90-90-91 rule, and its power is all in how simple it is. Here's how it works. For the next 90 days, you spend the first 90 minutes of your day working on your one single most important thing. That's it. Just that. This simple commitment is designed to totally transform your results. But why is this simple little rule so powerful? I mean, it seems too easy, right? Well, it goes way deeper than just managing your time. It's actually about changing who you believe you are. This is the key mindset shift you have to make. Most of us think of discipline as a restriction, right? Like it's this boring thing that limits what we can do. But the speaker completely flips that idea on its head. He says that discipline is actually what creates freedom. It's the tool that gives you the power to build the life you really, truly want. And that whole idea of freedom ties directly into the biggest reason this role works. It changes your identity. Because as the speaker says, at the end of the day, we act in alignment with who we believe we are. So to act in alignment with something just means that your actions match up with your core beliefs. So when you show up every single day and do your 90 minutes, you're not just checking a box. You're proving to yourself over and over that you're a consistent person. And after a while, you start to believe it. And once you believe it, the action just becomes a natural part of who you are. Okay, this all sounds really good in theory, right? But how do you actually start doing this? Well, the podcast gives us a super clear 4-step action plan to put this into practice without getting overwhelmed. All right, here's the game plan in 4 easy steps. First, you pick your one thing, and he calls this your Keystone habit. Second, you decide on your 90-minute time block. Third, and this is crucial, you track your progress. And finally, you make a plan for resistance, because you know those days are going to come when you don't feel like doing it. Let's look a little closer at a couple of these. So, first up is picking a keystone habit. What in the world is that? Well, think about an arch made of stone. The keystone is that one single stone at the very top that holds the entire arch together. A keystone habit is just like that. It's one core habit that naturally helps all your other good habits fall into place. So, how do you pick your keystone habit? You have to find the one thing that is going to move the needle the most in your life. The expression to move the needle just means to make a really big, noticeable difference. So you have to ask yourself, what is the one single activity that will have the biggest positive domino effect on everything else? Now for step 3, tracking your days. This is my favorite part. The speaker shares this brilliant trick that he actually learned from the famous comedian Jerry Seinfeld. Seinfeld's simple rule for becoming a great comedian was this: don't break the streak. Here's how it works. You get a big wall calendar, one where you can see the whole year. And every single day that you do your 90 minutes of work, you draw a big red X over that day. After a few days, you'll have a chain, and your only job, as he says, is to do this day in, day out, and just not break that chain. Seeing that chain of X's growing on your wall becomes this huge motivator. All right, we have covered a ton of great stuff here. To make sure it all sticks, let's do a quick review of the key vocabulary and the biggest takeaways from today's breakdown. We learned some awesome expressions today, didn't we? Ghost yourself on your goals, spinning your wheels, to act in alignment with something, a keystone habit, to move the needle, the don't break the chain method, and doing something day in, day out, which just means every single day consistently. These are all perfect for talking about goals and personal development. So, what's the bottom line here? It's that consistency is so much more important than motivation. A simple system like the 90-91 rule isn't just about getting work done. It's about changing your identity into someone who follows through. Your only job is to show up and not break the chain, especially on those days when you really don't feel like it. Okay, now that you've got the key ideas and all this new vocabulary, you are totally ready to tackle the original content. I really encourage you to go watch the full video. The link is in the description. It's a great way to test your listening skills with real, natural speed English. And hey, if you found this breakdown helpful, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe to Real Talk English for more. Now I have a question for you. What would be your one thing? What would you work on for 90 minutes a day? Let us all know down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and ask yourself, who could you become in the next 90 days?